I'm Simon Horton, and for many, many years I've worked in the television industry as a director and a producer. I knew when I was around about 12 that I wanted to work in television. At the time, I was a massive fan of Doctor Who, and I remember watching Doctor Who on television and thinking, I don't know how they make this programme, but I'm intrigued by it, and that's what I want to do when I grow up. And so I started writing to the BBC when I was about 12 or 13, saying, what do I do to get into the industry? And I just got the usual reply back saying, you know, go to university, you could try this approach, so on. And then it was only when I was in around about 2021 that I got the hankering and thinking, no, I know what I want to do. That's when I went to university and I did a degree in film and television direction. And as a result of that, coming out of that gave me the opportunity to begin to get unpaid work at that point within television broadcasters, ITV, BBC. There was a scheme available, not long after I'd started working within television, there was a scheme available whereby ITV were giving out pots of money to make short films. So I applied for this, I put in the application, and I was lucky enough to get it. So I got a very small amount of money, I think it was a couple of £1,000 from ITV to make this short film that I wrote and directed, pulled that together, and it was that was my calling card that then meant I could go out to the industry with a finished product and say, this is me, this is what I can do. That was how I first got my fully proper paid jobs as a director in television. So I went from one day being a runner to pretty much the next day being a director. So it was quite a leap. I've long been fascinated by the visual image and by how visuals work, how sound works with visuals. And so I'm constantly fascinated by learning why people make the decisions they make. When I first started working in television, which is, something like 30 years ago now, roles were very delineated. Nowadays, in my experience, those lines have become blurred to a lesser or greater degree, whereby digital filmmaking has allowed people to do every job. So one person can do everything that when I started in television would have been done by 4, 5, 6, maybe 20 different individual people. You can still specialise in an area, and I would always say that would always be my sort of advice, would be find an area that does fascinate you and specialise in that. Is it cameras? Is it makeup? Is it costume? Is it editing? But within the industry now, it's very much up for grabs that you will find your roles are crossing over different people's roles as well. So the roles really are just a bit more blurred nowadays, but in a good way. That's all for the positive, I think. Whenever anybody asks me, how do I get into the industry, the first thing I say to them is find what you love about the industry to begin with. Is it wardrobe? Is it makeup? Is it editing? Is it lighting? Is it cameras? Is it direction? Is it production? Is it researching? There are so many different jobs. Look at the end credits on any television programme and so many different credits go up. So it's a case of, I think, researching those and finding where is your passion, where is your love, because it's a tough industry to get into, and the people who rise to the top are the ones who have a passion for it. On a practical level, in many ways, the best way to get into television now is to actually do something. Now, that could be offering your time voluntarily at a very lowly level as a researcher, as a runner, whatever it might be, to a production company. On the other hand, there are ways whereby if you can find the facilities to go out and make something, even if it's just a 1-minute trailer for the kind of thing that you'd like to make if you had $1 million, that will be your calling cards to go out to the industry, because once you've got something to take out and you can show people, you say, there we go, I made that. You're pretty much, your 1 foot is already through the door and your 2nd foot isn't far behind it. You're well on the way through the door at that point. Firstly, beyond the passion for working in it, you've got to have some sort of skill in the area that you've chosen. Focus on the area that you yourself have a passion and a beginning of a skill for, that you can identify. That's as good a place to start as any. But equally important are interpersonal skills. Because again, if, for example, you're on a film set, television set, whatever it might be, and there will be many, many people there, you yourself need to shine. You need to be seen as, oh yeah, that person, we like having them on set, because that is just as important as the technical side of it. So always keep developing those interpersonal skills of talking to people, being friendly. Teamwork is vital within the creative industry and within television in particular, because whilst one person can sort of make a movie these days, once you get out into the industry, you won't be working as a sole person, or certainly if you start to work for a company, you will be working within a team of people. Really gone are the days of where 100 people would all be on a film shoot, and now it is a much more focused and concentrated group of people. So you need to keep that in mind, that you need to be that valuable member of the team that's good to work with other people all the time. You're not generally on a long-term project. There will be much shorter term projects, and so to me the greatest challenge is always you're constantly starting a new job every few weeks, every few months, maybe it might, if you're lucky, every couple of years, and you'll be then going into a new setup with new people, a new team, and so it's always about hitting the ground running again, starting right back at the beginning and working up. The most rewarding thing about working within the creative industry is that whatever you do, you are going to be left with an end product that you can be proud of, that you can show to people, be it a piece of art, be it a film, be it a television program, be it a digital podcast, whatever it might be, you'll get something at the end of it that will have your name on it in some way. So it's an incredible feeling to know that you worked on something that is now out there for everybody else to see, and you were part of that. It's very, very rewarding. Before I got into the industry, I know I fell in love with telling stories. This was the programs I was watching, the films I was watching. I grew to love stories. I grew to love drama. I never worked in drama. Everything I did ended up working in documentaries and factual programs. And to begin with, I was really disappointed. I thought, this is not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do drama, and I'm stuck making documentaries. And I found actually that making factual programs was exactly the same as drama. You're still telling the stories. You're doing it in exactly the same way. It's just that these are real stories as opposed to fictional stories. And ultimately, I loved working in documentary and factual, found it really rewarding. So that completely confounded all my expectations. So my feeling would always be, aim for what you want to go for, but don't be disappointed if you end up in a slightly different place to where you expected, that it'll be just as rewarding as what you were originally going for. The television landscape has changed enormously in the past 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, even the last year. Technology is constantly changing, but the way we access our entertainment has changed enormously as well. There are downsides and there are upsides to that. And one of the upsides is that streaming, for example, has brought in an enormous appetite for material to be produced. So more material needs to be produced now than at any other time in history. It's a case of finding the way to embrace that and running with it. But that can obviously mean that there are a lot of people out there doing exactly the same thing. So you need to make sure that yours stands head and shoulders above others, yours shines. So at this point, it's very much a case of finding what you enjoy. Be very, very self-indulgent at this point. And then just keep in the back of your brain the whole time, adaptability is the key to all of this. You might need to change the way you're making things. You might need to change your role. You might need to look at the way other people are doing their roles and adapt those. So it's a case of just keeping fluid and flexible. Don't be too dogmatic about your approach. Don't stay too focused, too solid within an approach. Always be malleable, always be flexible, always be willing to change. Any creative industry can be difficult to get into. Do not be put off by that. Never ever be swayed into thinking it's too hard, it's for other people, it's not for me. If you've got a drive for it, if you've got a passion for it and a love for it, go for it. Do not compromise. Stick with your guns, stick with it. Just focus on that's the thing that you want to do. Never ever let go of your dream, because it's those people that will come through the other side, and they'll be the ones that will be successful.